Joining us live from Kolkata on this big story that we're bringing to centre stage this evening, Suzette Jordan is the survivor of the Park Street rape incident. She joins us live from Kolkata. Welcome, ma'am. Faud Halim, leader of the CPM, is also with us live from Kolkata. And Abha Singh, lawyer and senior activist, joining us live from Mumbai, will also give us her perspective on this story. Suzette, if I could kick things off with you, and we'll get to the politics in just a bit. The overarching sentiment right now is that there is a political fight that has broken out between the CPM and the Mamata Banerjee government, and caught in the middle is this desperate family which believes that the government, the police, the system, which should have been protecting that girl and taking action against the people who drove her to suicide, has completely reneged on its commitment to protect the most helpless people. Suzette.
Yeah, I think this is extremely is a time for us to hang our heads in shame and stop blaming each other and using survivors and rape victims just to counteract each other. I mean, it's such a travesty when a person, a 16-year-old girl, finds no solace in anybody, and takes to killing herself.
Yes.
That goes to say a lot for society.
Well, it says a lot about society. I just want to draw our viewers' attention to the conspicuous absence of a Trinamool spokesperson on this debate, and it's not for lack of trying. We have tried all day today, tried to persuade Trinamool spokespersons or members to join this debate, speak with us on this debate and tell us what they think. But apart from the official statement that was given out, as all of you know, by Mukul Roy of the Trinamool earlier today, nothing more has been forthcoming from the Trinamool. Faud Halim, I'd like to bring you in because at this point of time, the CPM says that they have no intention to malign this government, but inevitably so, a political fight has broken out, eliciting the standard response from the Trinamool, which is that this entire episode is some kind of a political conspiracy against them. Mr. Halim.
Well, there are two things one has to keep in mind. I apologize for my sore throat. You see, the Chief Minister of West Bengal has failed this girl on two counts.
Yes.
The first count is as the Home Minister, where she was supposed to ensure that the investigation and the protection that was due to this girl, that was not delivered to this girl. The second count that the Chief Minister failed on was as the Health Minister. Now one has to keep in mind that despite this girl having severe burns, she was admitted to a hospital which does not have a full-fledged burn unit.
Correct.
So the Chief Minister has failed on two counts. But what is overshadowing all these things is the behavior of the police since last evening. After the child had undergone a post-mortem, her body was handed over to the parents. The parents took the body home, and then they decided that they will keep the body in a refrigerated environment until their relatives come from Bihar, and they would conduct the last rites this afternoon.
That's right. Yes.
As the body was coming from the home to the mortuary, the police intervened and hijacked the dead body and took it to the crematorium. Then, when the police realized that they do not have the death certificate, and the medical officer at the crematorium said that I cannot proceed with the last rites because if you do, because you do not have the the death certificate with you, the police were preparing to actually conduct the last rites themselves in the absence of the parents of this girl. Now this is a travesty of humongous proportions.
It is, yes.
The fact that the police is alluding to today, that being the 1st of January, the festivities in Calcutta would be affected, which is why they were taking such a step, is exceptionally
Abha Singh, if I could bring you in on this. We live in a cynical time, Abha Singh, when we see the high-handedness of politicians on virtually a daily basis. But like Faud Halim says, and I have to agree with him, this is a travesty of humongous proportions where you see the police completely hand in glove doing, what can only be the government's orders, try to hush this entire case up as quickly as possible. They were trying to hijack the body from the family to get it cremated quickly, Abha Singh.
See, it is shocking that in spite of the POCSO Act, the Protection of Children Against Sexual Offences, also the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013, it appears that you may have the toughest law, but rape against girls and women will not stop. This West Bengal case is a living example of that in fact the law says that the police should have come to a place and registered the complaint. Here the little girl goes to the police station, and while returning she is again abducted and raped. Twice she was raped, and the police officers have gone scot-free. Two of the prime accused were arrested only 2 days back, and the police has no powers to confiscate or take the dead body. The police has, as per the law, only unknown bodies, faceless bodies can be taken. When there were no powers of the police, how did they take the dead body? Why those police officers have not been suspended till now? Why policemen are not being tried for abetment to suicide under 109 of the IPC? Why the police have not been arrested for dereliction of duty? And that is the reason that in spite of the toughest law, West Bengal is second highest in the country as far as rape is concerned, and they are unable to control the rising crime against women.
Suzette, how worried does it make you? And you as a person, you know, having been through what you've been through, continue to live in Kolkata, your circumstances are such, you are still in that city. What goes through your mind, Suzette, when you see incidents of this kind? Because on the one hand, not only does it show that nothing has changed as far as safety for women is concerned in that state, and I'm not singling out West Bengal, women are unsafe everywhere in this country, but it also points out very specifically that the government in power in West Bengal has learnt no lessons from the sentiment that seems to engulf the rest of India about sensitivity, about doing everything to prioritize safety for women. Instead, what we're seeing is Mamata Banerjee continuing to be precisely how she was even when what happened to you, Suzette, which is to allege some kind of a political conspiracy.
Well, yes, I think even my case was politicized right from the onstart, and I really had nothing to say on that, as I feel that you know, such kind of people don't deserve to be explained to or to be spoken about. So I didn't lose my focus, and yes, considering the spat of rapes and the rise of rapes in our city has definitely sent a different signal across, you know. But the one good thing is that the bold approach that women now have, and the consistent way to, you know, kind of demand for justice, which is a good thing, and I think we must not, you know, allow a defeat like this or like any to bring us down. And in fact, this should make us stronger, considering we have no one to stand up for us. You have a section of the police who do as they please. You have a section of the society who, you know, make it into a political game, sitting back and laughing. They should at least think about their own daughters before they, you know, even think of disposing or dismissing anyone else's child. So yes, it's definitely frightening.
It's an issue that is worth fighting for. Faud Halim, there were protests across Kolkata today, and there are likely to be more protests tomorrow as well, and maybe indefinitely as well, is what the CPM has said. How long can this actually go on for? And it's a question I also want to ask Abha right after I get your response, Fuad, is that like Suzette points out, every single time there's a crime against a woman, more than, you know, systemic redressal in terms of police, in terms of hospitals, in terms of the government, in terms of the women's welfare agencies, it just becomes a political fight because that's the simple thing to do.
Well, let me tell you, every crime is definitely what you call something which is absolutely unacceptable, and every incident that has happened in West Bengal over the 2.5 years of Mamata Banerjee's rule, every single one stands out for the lack of apathy, for the lack of sympathy, the lack of compassion, and the lack of what you call understanding of what the victim has gone through. And as Suzette's case stands out particularly by being what you call maligned in a particular way, let me tell you, this case is also very different because the police themselves have behaved like criminals. If you go through the complaint that the father of the girl has just submitted, a copy of which I have with me in my hands at the moment, after the dead body was taken to the ghat, the SP and the OC of the Thana where this gentleman resides, they were standing in his house and telling him, pack your bags and go back to Bihar. They were telling him that if you do not take the death certificate now to the crematorium, then you will not be able to run your taxi in this area.
Yes.
You see, this gentleman is a taxi driver. They have been standing there while somebody from the Trinamool Congress has gone over there and threatened these people, saying that I will kill you. In front of the SP and the OC, if you do not take the death certificate tonight and get the last rites completed in Talaghat.
The details.
Now, the details are, I will tell you, I was with the dead body last night in front of Nintala Ghat. I was with the dead body since this morning.
Okay.
I will tell you, the police, when the hearse brought the body in this morning, the police whisked away the driver of the hearse.
Yes.
And for half an hour, we could not move the dead body to the CIT office. When we took the dead body into a matador, because the driver of the hearse was not available, the police took away the keys of the matador for half an hour.
We've got those details.
This is the way in which the police has acted criminally in this incident today. And since last night, they have been acting like this. It has been a criminal act by the police. And this has been dictated by their political masters.
Abha Singh, apart from the fact that the Mamata Banerjee government, felt the need to do things like this, or at least that's what the allegation is the impunity with which the entire system, almost by default tends to try and subvert the entire issue simply because of the paranoia of the people running the government. It's paranoia because they know how much damage such an issue can actually cause, but they end up doing even more damage by trying to subvert the entire process. Abha Singh.
See, it is shocking that the way the police has been politicized and criminalized. Until the time this issue is not dealt with, we will not be able to control rape. Even what is worse is now that rape is being politicized. It is a crime against humanity, and here it is political parties who are trying to take mileage out of it rather than giving constructive ways how to deal with it. These people who've been arrested, in fact, if we see Nirbhaya case, only the judgment has come in the lower court. It is going to go on for another 2-3 years. So till the time constructive measures are suggested, I think just coming on the roads is just an eyewash, and the public, if it is trying to politicize, it is a shame rather than taking constructive measures. That is what is the call of the day, and these police officers are not police officers, but they are criminals of the highest order who need to be dismissed from service.
Suzette, I'd like to end this discussion with a word from you, and we've had you on discussions of this kind several times before, and we've asked you this question, but I think the fact that we need to keep asking this question from sane voices like you and the others on this discussion is that crimes like these don't seem to be stopping. What would you, Suzette, say to the family of this 16-year-old girl who's just lost her life?
In all honesty, I'm at a loss for words. I have 2 daughters of my own, and I couldn't imagine the pain the father is going through at this point. And all we can do as a society is to make sure that he gets justice in the rightful manner, and the people that have harmed him or have caused his family harm, may they be punished.
Let's really hope that the West Bengal government and Mamata Banerjee come to their senses. These people need help. They don't need to be victimized even after tragedy has just hit them in the face. Suzette Jordan, Faud Halim, Abha Singh, thanks very much for joining us on this discussion on a story that we will continue to track very, very closely here.